the Berlanga versus McCrory fight, Berlanga came out and he took his time with McCrory, and McCrory came out kind of aggressive. So it seemed like he was kind of looking for a knockout. And he wanted to, get in Berlanga's head, but Berlanga actually settled down and he just took his time. In the first round, he just kind of felt him out. He kept his guard up. He didn't want to get caught with anything crazy. And he was very patient during the fight. And then the second, and I'll say by the third round, Berlanga came out and he really started establishing himself. He started, throwing more jabs and whatnot. And he started to exchange more with McCrory because earlier I think he was just kind of filling him out and giving McCrory some false confidence on the fight. And then he started stepping up the heat on him and started walking him down. And pretty soon, he broke McCrory down, and he was the much harder puncher, as you could see, like in the end. But I think he was just worried about McCrory's early power in the beginning, and so he just took his time, and I think he boxed a beautiful fight. And then he eventually got the stoppage. I don't think he should go straight into the fight with Canelo. I think he probably should do one more step up fight with somebody that's a little bit more dangerous that can just like push him for the 12 rounds. Because against Canelo, this is you taking like 2 or 3 steps up from this guy. Canelo, has a lot more ring savvy. He also has power with both hands. So it's going to be, it'll be a lot tougher fight. I think, because Berlanga, he's only 24. I mean, he was 25, 26 at the most. He has plenty of time. I think they should just wait because, I mean, if he steps up and fights Canelo and if he gets stopped or something, this can be this can be a real hindrance to the rest of his career. But as I always told, my fighters, if you're going to lose, get paid. So I think that's probably where they're at right now. Canelo's the golden, he's the golden cow. So, so I guess, if you're going to take a chance, take it with him. And then, I guess there's no shame either if you do lose to Canelo because, Canelo is, one of the greatest fighters of all time. I think, it'll still be a good fight. And, Canelo, I don't know if that would be his biggest money fight because I don't know why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. I still don't understand it. I understand that management and promotional teams did have a problem with matching up certain fighters because they don't want to lose. And then, that loses all their steam and whatnot. But I think that that they need to, if you consider yourself one of the greatest of all time, you got to step up and fight, the best. And right now, Benavidez is the best out there, especially at the 168-pound division. Now, they were talking about he's supposed to be fighting the other Charlo twin. Now, as we know, he has a lot of ability, but his heart has always been in the question. And also, he just went through a lot of things where he had mental breakdowns and whatnot. So, your personality, you bring your personality into the ring. If he fights Canelo and he turns that heat up on him, he might end up quitting or something because he's been going through a lot of mental things, lately. And he's a bigger puncher than his younger twin brother. But I think actually, even before that, I always thought the younger twin had more heart than the older twin. But we'll see. And then plus, he at the fight a couple fights ago, he got smacked in the mouth and he didn't even do anything. So I don't know about that fight. I would rather see Canelo fight Munguia or maybe fight Berlanga or whatever. But if I was Berlanga's management team, I don't know. I would probably maybe wait one more fight. He does have the ability. He's got the punching power. He's getting better and better each fight. I've been checking him out since he had all the one round knockouts. But here lately, he had 5 fights where he didn't have any knockouts whatsoever. So I don't know, man. It'll be a really interesting fight, though. I wouldn't mind checking it out. And it'll be an action-packed fighter because you got Puerto Rico versus Mexico. And, you got one of the greatest all times, fighting the up-and-coming fighter. But, man, we'll see. So my final assessment for this fight is that McCrory was just completely outgunned. Berlanga had all the physical tool advantage. He had the speed and power advantage. McCrory only had height advantage, and he did not know how to use it. He didn't use his jab good enough. He couldn't keep Berlanga off of him. He stood tall too much, and that was just a recipe for disaster. Please like and subscribe to this page as we continue to analyze sporting events from our perspective.